One sunny afternoon, Nam was walking home from school when he noticed an elderly man struggling on the sidewalk. The man was frail and seemed to be having a tough time dragging a large, heavy bag filled with groceries. Nam felt a surge of compassion and decided to approach him. "Excuse me, sir. Can I help you with that bag?" Nam offered, his voice warm and sincere. The old man looked up, surprised but grateful. "Oh, thank you, young man. I would appreciate it very much. It's just a bit too heavy for me," he replied with a faint smile. Without hesitation, Nam took the bag from the old man's grasp. As he lifted it, he realized just how heavy it was, filled with fresh ingredients and baked goods. Together, they began to walk towards the old man's home, which turned out to be just a few blocks away. During their walk, Nam learned that the man's name was Mr. Hoa, and he owned a small bakery in the neighborhood. "I've been running it for over 30 years now," Mr. Hoa said, his eyes lighting up with pride. "I love baking. It brings me joy to see people enjoy my creations." Nam enjoyed hearing Mr. Hoa's stories about his bakery, filled with tales of his favorite recipes and the delight he found in making others happy through his baking. As they arrived at Mr. Hoa's modest home, he invited Nam inside. The aroma of fresh bread and pastries wafted through the air, making Nam's mouth water. "Please, come in. I have some treats I just made." "It's the least I can do to thank you for your kindness," Mr. Hoa insisted. Nam stepped inside, amazed by the cozy atmosphere. The kitchen was filled with baking supplies, and on the counter were trays of warm pastries, each more tempting than the last. Mr. Hoa offered him a flaky croissant, still warm from the oven. The moment Nam took a bite, he was captivated by the buttery flavor and the perfect texture. "This is incredible!" Nam exclaimed, his eyes wide with delight. Mr. Hoa chuckled, happy to see Nam enjoying his work. "I bake every day, and I love sharing my treats with those who appreciate them. You helped me today, so I want you to have some of my best pastries." From that day on, a beautiful friendship blossomed between Nam and Mr. Hoa. Every day after school, Nam would stop by the bakery, and Mr. Hoa would always have something delicious waiting for him. Sometimes it was a freshly baked loaf of bread, other times, it was an assortment of cookies or pastries. As the weeks went by, Nam learned the art of baking from Mr. Hoa. He would watch in awe as the old man expertly kneaded dough and crafted intricate pastries. Mr. Hoa patiently taught him the secrets behind his recipes, sharing tips and techniques that had been passed down through generations. Their bond grew stronger, and Nam began to think of Mr. Hoa as a grandfather figure. They would share stories, laughter, and even some of their worries. Nam confided in Mr. Hoa about school and his dreams for the future, while Mr. Hoa shared memories of his youth and the challenges he faced while building his bakery. One day, Nam noticed that Mr. Hoa seemed a bit more tired than usual. Concerned, he asked, "Are you feeling all right, Mr. Hoa? You seem a little worn out." Mr. Hoa smiled softly, but there was a hint of weariness in his eyes. "I'm just getting older, my boy. Running the bakery is a lot of work, and some days it feels heavier than the bags I carry." Nam felt a wave of determination wash over him. "How about I help you at the bakery? I can assist with the baking and the customers. It would make things easier for you." Mr. Hoa's eyes sparkled with gratitude. "That would be wonderful, Nam. It would certainly lighten my load." From that day forward, Nam became a regular helper at the bakery. He learned not just how to bake, but also how to manage the shop, serve customers, and keep everything running smoothly. The experience deepened his love for baking and solidified his bond with Mr. Hoa. One morning, as they prepared for a busy day, Mr. Hoa turned to Nam with a serious expression. "You know, Nam, I've been thinking about the future of the bakery. I don't want it to close when I can no longer run it. Would you consider taking it over one day?" Nam was taken aback. "Me? Really? I would love that, Mr. Hoa. But I still have so much to learn." Mr. Hoa nodded. "And that's why I want to teach you. You have a passion for baking, and I see a bright future for you in this. With your heart and dedication, you could make this bakery even more special." Tears welled in Nam's eyes. "Thank you for believing in me, Mr. Hoa. I won't let you down." As time passed, the bakery became more than just a place to work, it became a second home for Nam. He cherished the memories they created together, the laughter shared over donuts, and the sense of community that blossomed within those walls. Years later, when Mr. Hoa finally decided it was time to retire, Nam took over the bakery with pride. He honored Mr. Hoa's legacy, continuing to make the beloved pastries that had brought so much joy to the neighborhood. Nam often thought back to that day when he had first helped Mr. Hoa with the heavy bag. It was a simple act of kindness that had changed the course of his life, leading him to discover his passion and the bond of friendship that had enriched his world. With every pastry he baked, he felt Mr. Hoa's spirit beside him, guiding him, reminding him of the power of kindness, community, and the joy that comes from sharing one's gifts with others. And as he served his customers, he made sure to share not just delicious treats, but also the love and care that had been instilled in him by the old man who had once struggled with a heavy bag on the street. As Nam took over the bakery, he felt a deep sense of responsibility to carry on Mr. Hoa's legacy. The shop had been a beloved fixture in the neighborhood, and he wanted to ensure it continued to thrive. Every morning, he would wake up early, just as Mr. Hoa had done for years, to start the day with fresh bread and pastries. Nam introduced new flavors and seasonal items, drawing inspiration from his own creativity while always honoring the traditional recipes that had made the bakery famous. He hosted special events, like Pastry Days, where the community was invited to test new creations and share their favorites. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon, the bakery was bustling with customers. As time went on, Nam's connection to the community deepened. He started a program where local children could come to learn baking on weekends. He wanted to give back to the same community that had supported Mr. Hoa and now supported him. The kids were eager to learn, and their excitement reminded Nam of the joy he felt when he first stepped into the bakery as a young boy. One day, while teaching a group of kids how to make cookies, Nam noticed a shy girl standing at the back, hesitating to join in. He approached her and gently asked, "Would you like to come and help us? Baking is even more fun when you do it with friends." The girl nodded, her eyes lighting up. Nam welcomed her into the circle, and soon she was smiling and laughing, mixing dough and sharing stories with the others. It was moments like these that filled Nam's heart with happiness. He realized that he was not just preserving Mr. Hoa's legacy, he was building something new, creating a space where creativity, community, and kindness could flourish. As the years rolled by, Nam continued to build strong relationships with his customers. He would often remember Mr. Hoa's wise words, "Every loaf of bread is a way to connect with people." With that philosophy in mind, Nam made it a point to know his customers by name, remembering their favorite pastries and personal stories. One day, a familiar face walked into the bakery, a woman named Lan, who used to be a regular when Mr. Hoa was still running the shop. She approached the counter with a nostalgic smile. "Nam, it's so good to see you. I've missed this place since Mr. Hoa retired." Nam grinned. "I've missed seeing you. Thank you for coming back. Mr. Hoa taught me everything I know, and I hope to make him proud every day." Lan's eyes sparkled. "You're doing an incredible job. The bakery feels just as warm and welcoming as it always has. You've really kept his spirit alive." Encouraged by her words, Nam decided to hold a special event to honor Mr. Hoa. He planned a Remembering Mr. Hoa Day, inviting everyone who had loved the bakery over the years. He reached out to former customers, neighbors, and friends, hoping to gather stories and memories to celebrate the man who had started it all. On the day of the event, the bakery was filled with laughter and the sweet aroma of fresh pastries. People shared their favorite memories of Mr. Hoa, recounting how his kindness and delicious treats had touched their lives. Nam listened intently, soaking in the warmth of the stories that painted a picture of a man who had not only been a baker but also a beloved figure in the community. As the evening wore on, Nam stood up to speak. "Thank you all for coming to honor Mr. Hoa today. His teachings go beyond baking. He showed us the importance of kindness, community, and passion. Let's continue to carry that spirit forward together." The room erupted in applause, and Nam felt a rush of emotion. In that moment, he realized how interconnected their lives were, each person a thread in the fabric of the community that Mr. Hoa had helped weave. In the following years, Nam continued to blend tradition with innovation. He introduced community events like bake sales for local charities, seasonal fairs, and open mic nights where local talents could showcase their skills while enjoying his baked goods. The bakery became a hub of creativity and connection, attracting people from all walks of life. Through all the changes, Nam kept a framed photograph of Mr. Hoa on the wall behind the counter. It served as a constant reminder of where it all began and the man who had inspired him to follow his passion. Whenever he faced challenges or doubts, he would glance at that photo and feel the warmth of Mr. Hoa's spirit guiding him. One day, as Nam was preparing for the annual spring festival, he received an unexpected letter. It was from Mr. Hoa, who had been keeping in touch from afar, now living in a cozy retirement home. The letter expressed his pride in Nam's achievements and how the bakery had not only thrived but had also become a cherished place for the community. Nam was deeply touched. He decided to visit Mr. Hoa, bringing along a basket filled with his latest creations. When he arrived, the old man's eyes sparkled with joy upon seeing Nam. "My boy, you've done so well. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about you and the bakery." Nam smiled, feeling a rush of warmth. "I couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Hoa. You taught me everything, and your spirit lives on in every loaf and pastry I make." They spent the afternoon reminiscing, sharing stories and laughter, and savoring the treats Nam had brought. As they talked, Nam felt an overwhelming gratitude for the journey they had shared. Their friendship had transcended generations and had blossomed into a beautiful legacy. In that moment, Nam realized that the true essence of baking was not just about creating delicious treats but about fostering connections, kindness, and a sense of belonging. Inspired, he returned to the bakery, more determined than ever to keep that spirit alive. As he prepared for the upcoming spring festival, Nam thought about how he could honor Mr. Hoa and share their story with the community. He decided to create a special pastry dedicated to his mentor, combining their favorite flavors into one delightful treat. He called it the legacy cake, a symbol of their bond and the love they had for baking. At the festival, the legacy cake was an instant hit, and people flocked to try it, intrigued by the story behind it. Nam stood by the display, sharing anecdotes about Mr. Hoa and how a simple act of kindness had changed his life forever. The crowd was captivated, not just by the cake but by the warmth of their shared history. As the sun began to set, illuminating the festival in a golden glow, Nam felt a profound sense of fulfillment. He realized that through the bakery, he was not only keeping Mr. Hoa's memory alive but also inspiring others to embrace kindness and community. In the years that followed, the bakery continued to flourish, a testament to the enduring power of friendship, love, and the delicious treats that had brought them all together. Nam knew that as long as he baked with passion and heart, he would always carry Mr. Hoa's legacy forward, one pastry at a time. As the years passed, the bakery became an integral part of the community, and Nam continued to innovate while holding dear to the traditions that Mr. Hoa had established. With each new season, he introduced special recipes inspired by the local culture, incorporating flavors and ingredients that celebrated the neighborhood's diversity. One autumn, he decided to launch a harvest festival at the bakery, inviting local farmers to showcase their produce alongside his baked goods. The idea was to create a bridge between the community and the hardworking farmers who supplied fresh ingredients. Nam organized workshops, cooking demonstrations, and live music, turning the bakery into a lively hub of activity. On the day of the festival, the streets surrounding the bakery were filled with laughter and music. Families gathered, children ran around with pastries in hand, and the smell of fresh apple pies filled the air. Nam took a moment to step back and soak in the joy around him, feeling a wave of gratitude for all that had come to be. During the festival, a local journalist approached Nam, curious about the bakery's journey and its impact on the community. She interviewed him, capturing his passion for baking and the stories of connection that unfolded within the walls of the bakery. The article, once published, drew even more visitors to the shop, turning it into a beloved destination for both locals and tourists. Encouraged by the positive response, Nam began to think bigger. He envisioned expanding the bakery's reach by creating a community cookbook that featured recipes not only from his own kitchen but also from the families of his customers. He wanted to celebrate the culinary traditions of the community, weaving their stories into the fabric of the bakery's narrative. Nam reached out to his customers, inviting them to share their favorite recipes and the stories behind them. The response was overwhelming. People were excited to contribute, and many gathered at the bakery for recipe-sharing sessions. Each story was unique, reflecting their heritage and memories tied to food, creating a tapestry of flavors and experiences. As he compiled the cookbook, Nam realized it was more than just a collection of recipes, it was a testament to the love and resilience of the community. He included photographs of families cooking together, children enjoying pastries, and even snapshots of Mr. Hoa's bakery in its heyday. The cookbook launch was a grand event, with everyone in the community coming together to celebrate. Nam prepared a variety of baked goods from the cookbook, inviting everyone to taste the contributions of their neighbors. The event was filled with laughter, storytelling, and, of course, delicious food. When Nam stood before the crowd to speak, he felt the weight of responsibility and joy. "This cookbook represents all of us," he began, his voice steady. "It's a celebration of our stories, our cultures, and our love for food. Just like Mr. Hoa taught me, baking is not just about the ingredients, it's about the connections we create through them." The crowd erupted in applause, and Nam felt a warmth spread through him. This was the legacy he had built, not just for himself or Mr. Hoa, but for everyone who walked through the bakery doors. As the evening wound down, Nam took a moment to reflect. He thought about the journey that had brought him here, the heavy bag he had lifted years ago, the lessons learned from Mr. Hoa, and the community that had embraced him. It was a beautiful reminder that acts of kindness could ripple out, creating waves of connection and love. In the months that followed, the cookbook gained popularity, and the bakery became known not just for its pastries but also as a community hub. Nam began to host monthly gatherings where locals could come together to cook, share, and enjoy each other's company, strengthening the bonds that had formed. One evening, as Nam was closing up the bakery, he noticed a familiar figure standing outside, gazing in through the window. It was a little girl, the same one he had welcomed into the kitchen years ago. She was now a teenager, and her face lit up with recognition. "Nam, I remember coming here to bake with you when I was little," she said, her eyes sparkling. "I've been experimenting with my own recipes, and I wanted to show you what I've made." Curious, Nam invited her in. She eagerly shared her creation, a beautiful cake adorned with fresh fruit and a story about how she had learned to bake from watching him. Nam felt a swell of pride and nostalgia as they worked together in the kitchen, reminiscing about the times they had shared. This interaction sparked an idea in Nam. He decided to create a mentorship program at the bakery, where young aspiring bakers could come and learn the craft. He wanted to ensure that the spirit of sharing knowledge and fostering connections lived on, just as Mr. Hoa had done for him. The mentorship program quickly became popular, attracting kids and teens from all over the neighborhood. Nam taught them everything from basic baking skills to the art of decorating cakes. Each session ended with a community meal where everyone enjoyed the treats they had made together. One day, during a particularly lively session, a young boy named Tuan shyly approached Nam. "Can I help with the bakery after school?" "I really love baking," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Nam knelt down to meet his gaze. "Of course. We can always use an extra pair of hands. How about you start by helping me with the pastries tomorrow?" Tuan's face broke into a wide grin, and Nam felt a surge of happiness. He could see a little bit of himself in the boy's enthusiasm, and he was eager to help him find his passion. As Nam guided Tuan through the process of making pastries, he couldn't help but reflect on how far he had come since that fateful day when he helped Mr. Hoa with his heavy bag. The cycle of kindness and mentorship had come full circle, and he was now in a position to inspire the next generation. One evening, as Nam was cleaning up the bakery after a busy day, he received a message from Mr. Hoa. He had been watching from afar, and he wanted to come for a visit. Excitedly, Nam began preparing the bakery for his mentor's arrival, wanting everything to be perfect. When Mr. Hoa finally arrived, he was greeted with hugs and cheers from the staff and community members who had grown to love him just as Nam had. As he walked through the bakery, tears of joy filled his eyes. "Nam, look at what you've created. I'm so proud of you." They spent hours reminiscing and sharing stories. Nam showed Mr. Hoa the mentorship program and how it had blossomed into something wonderful. Mr. Hoa smiled, saying, "You've not only kept my legacy alive, but you've also made it grow. I always knew you had a gift for bringing people together." With renewed inspiration, Nam decided to collaborate with Mr. Hoa on a special project, a bake sale to raise funds for a local charity. The event was a huge success, drawing in crowds and celebrating the power of community. Together, they demonstrated how baking could not only create delicious treats but also make a difference in the lives of others. As the event came to a close, Nam stood alongside Mr. Hoa, beaming with pride. They looked out at the bustling crowd, filled with laughter and connection, and Nam felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He realized that the journey of baking was not just about the pastries but about the bonds created and the lives touched along the way. Mr. Hoa had passed down not just recipes but a legacy of love and kindness, and Nam was honored to carry it forward. In that moment, he knew that as long as he continued to bake with passion and share his love for the craft, the spirit of Mr. Hoa would live on in every loaf of bread, every pastry, and every heart that walked through the bakery doors. Together, they had created something truly special, an enduring legacy of kindness, connection, and the joy of baking that would ripple through the community for generations to come. As the months turned into years, the bakery continued to flourish under Nam's guidance, becoming a cherished landmark in the community. The mentorship program grew even more popular, drawing in young bakers eager to learn from Nam and Mr. Hoa. Each weekend, the bakery would come alive with laughter, flour-dusted aprons, and the sweet scent of freshly baked goods. With the success of the mentorship program, Nam began to consider how he could further expand its reach. Inspired by the stories shared during the cookbook project, he decided to create a scholarship fund for young aspiring bakers in the community. He envisioned this fund not only helping with tuition for culinary schools but also providing resources for those who wanted to start their own small businesses. To kick off the scholarship fund, Nam organized a fundraising gala at the bakery, inviting community members, local businesses, and even some of the children who had grown up in the mentorship program. He prepared an exquisite menu featuring a variety of pastries, breads, and desserts, each dish crafted with love and care. The night of the gala arrived, and the bakery was transformed into a beautiful venue. Fairy lights twinkled overhead, and the aroma of delicious food filled the air. Guests mingled, sharing stories and laughter, while Nam and the young bakers showcased their culinary creations. During the evening, Nam took to the stage to express his gratitude. "Thank you all for being here tonight. This bakery has always been more than just a place to buy bread, it's a community. The stories we share and the connections we make are what truly matter. Tonight, we are not just raising funds for a scholarship, we are investing in the future of our community." As the crowd applauded, Nam felt a swell of pride. He knew that this night was just the beginning of something special. Together, they raised enough money to start the scholarship fund, and the energy in the room was electric with hope and excitement for the future. After the gala, the scholarship applications began to pour in. Nam and a committee of mentors reviewed each one carefully, looking for candidates who not only demonstrated a passion for baking but also a commitment to their community. They were amazed by the stories shared by the applicants, each one filled with dreams and aspirations, reflecting the spirit of the bakery. Finally, they selected a group of recipients, each with their unique story. On the day of the scholarship announcement, the bakery buzzed with anticipation. Nam invited all the applicants and their families to join the celebration. As he stood before the crowd, he felt a mixture of nerves and excitement. Today, we celebrate not just the recipients of our scholarship but everyone who has poured their heart and soul into their baking dreams. The future is bright, and I'm honored to support each of you on your journey." The recipients stepped forward, beaming with pride as they were introduced to the community. Nam felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him, knowing that they were starting a new chapter in their lives. As the program continued, Nam's connection with the community deepened further. The bakery became a space for cultural exchange, where people from different backgrounds came together to share their traditions and culinary heritage. Nam hosted international baking nights, inviting guests to share their favorite recipes and teach others about their cultures. One evening, a local immigrant family from Italy brought in their grandmother's traditional pizza recipe. As they prepared the dough together, laughter filled the air, and the smell of garlic and fresh basil wafted through the bakery. The event was a beautiful blend of cultures, with everyone participating and learning from one another. Nam also began collaborating with local schools, offering baking workshops to children and teens. He wanted to inspire the younger generation to appreciate the art of baking and understand its role in bringing people together. The workshops became a hit, sparking joy and creativity in the kids as they explored their culinary skills. One day, while working with a group of children, Nam noticed a shy boy named Kien standing off to the side, hesitant to join in. Nam walked over and knelt beside him. "Hey there, Kien. Would you like to help us make some cookies? I promise it'll be fun." Kien looked up, his eyes wide with curiosity. "I've never baked before," he admitted quietly. Nam smiled warmly. "That's okay. Everyone has to start somewhere. I'll show you how to make them step by step. You'll be a pro in no time." With encouragement, Kien stepped forward, and soon he was mixing dough and rolling out cookies, his initial hesitation melting away. By the end of the session, he was laughing and chatting with the other kids, proud of the cookies he had made. Seeing the transformation in Kien inspired Nam to create a special program for children with social anxieties or difficulties, offering them a safe space to express themselves through baking. He called it Baking Beyond Barriers. The program focused not only on baking skills but also on building confidence and friendships. As the program gained traction, Nam was filled with joy witnessing the children form bonds and support each other. Baking became a medium for them to express their creativity and build connections, just as it had for him and Mr. Hoa. Years passed, and the bakery continued to thrive as a beacon of community spirit. One day, as Nam was cleaning up after a busy morning, he noticed a familiar face peering through the window. It was Tuan, now a young adult, and he was grinning widely. "Nam, I just graduated from culinary school," Tuan exclaimed, bursting with excitement. Nam's heart swelled with pride. "That's amazing, Tuan. I knew you could do it. What are your plans now?" Tuan paused, looking thoughtful. "I want to open my own bakery, just like you did. Can you help me?" Nam felt a rush of nostalgia. "Of course. I'd be honored to help you on your journey. Let's get started." Over the next few months, Nam became Tuan's mentor, guiding him through the process of opening his own bakery. He shared his experiences, the challenges he faced, and the lessons he had learned along the way. Tuan's passion and determination reminded Nam of his own beginnings, and he felt fulfilled passing on the knowledge he had gained. Finally, the day arrived for Tuan to open his bakery. Nam stood beside him, a sense of pride swelling in his chest as they cut the ribbon together. The community turned out in droves to support Tuan, just as they had supported Nam years earlier. As Tuan greeted his first customers, Nam took a moment to reflect on how far he had come since that day he helped Mr. Hoa. The journey had been filled with challenges and triumphs, and he had created not just a successful bakery but a legacy of kindness, mentorship, and community spirit. With Tuan now on his path, Nam knew that the cycle of giving and support would continue. He smiled, feeling content in the knowledge that the seeds of love and passion for baking he had planted would flourish in the hearts of others, just as they had in his own. As the sun set on that beautiful day, Nam looked around at the bustling bakery, filled with laughter and joy. He felt Mr. Hoa's spirit with him, guiding him forward. With every loaf of bread, every pastry made, and every story shared, Nam was reminded that baking was more than just a craft, it was a way of life, a way to connect, to love, and to create a lasting impact on the world around him. As the seasons changed, Nam's bakery became a vibrant part of the community, each holiday bringing new traditions and celebrations. The annual Lunar New Year brought a flurry of activity as families flocked to the bakery to buy mooncakes and other festive treats. Nam organized workshops where families could come in and learn to make these traditional goodies together, fostering a sense of togetherness and cultural appreciation. One day, as Nam was preparing for the Lunar New Year festivities, he received a letter from a local charity organization. They were hosting a community celebration and wanted him to be a part of it. Excited to give back, Nam agreed to provide baked goods for the event and offer a baking demonstration. The day of the celebration arrived, and the community gathered in the park, filled with laughter and joy. Nam set up a booth, showcasing his pastries and demonstrating how to make traditional sweets. People of all ages watched in awe as he skillfully mixed ingredients and shared tips on baking. Among the crowd, he spotted a familiar face. Qian, now a teenager, was helping at the charity event. Qian had grown into a confident young man, and Nam felt a sense of pride seeing how far he had come. They exchanged smiles, and Qian eagerly joined Nam at the booth to help with the demonstration. As they baked together, Qian shared his dreams of becoming a chef, inspired by Nam's mentorship. "I want to make a difference in people's lives, just like you did for me," he said, his eyes shining with determination. Nam felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. "You already are, Qian. You're a role model for others. Just remember, it's not just about the baking, it's about the connections you create." The event was a huge success, with everyone enjoying the delicious treats and celebrating the spirit of community. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the park, Nam felt a sense of fulfillment. This was what he had worked for, not just to build a successful bakery but to create a space where love, mentorship, and kindness thrived. In the following months, Nam continued to expand his outreach. Inspired by the success of the charity event, he began collaborating with local schools to implement baking classes that taught not just baking techniques but also the importance of community service. The program encouraged students to create baked goods for local shelters and food banks, teaching them the value of giving back. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Students embraced the initiative, excited to learn and contribute to their community. Nam watched in amazement as young hearts transformed through the act of giving, forging bonds with each other and with those they helped. One day, during a class, a shy girl named Mia approached Nam. "Can we create something special for the homeless shelter? I want to make them feel loved," she said softly. Nam was touched by her thoughtfulness. "That's a beautiful idea, Mia. Let's brainstorm some recipes together." Together, they planned a menu of hearty breads and sweet treats, focusing on nourishment and warmth. The class worked tirelessly, pouring their hearts into each loaf and cookie. When they delivered the baked goods to the shelter, the smiles on the residents' faces were priceless. It was a moment that encapsulated the power of kindness through baking. As the years passed, Nam's bakery continued to be a source of joy and inspiration for the community. Tuan's bakery flourished as well, and the two friends often collaborated on special events, strengthening their bond and amplifying their impact. One day, as Nam was cleaning the bakery after a busy day, he received a call from a local newspaper. They wanted to feature him in a special story about community heroes. Flattered and slightly nervous, Nam agreed to the interview. When the reporter arrived, she asked him about his journey, his motivations, and the impact of his bakery on the community. Nam spoke candidly about Mr. Ho's influence on his life, the lessons of kindness and connection he had learned, and how he aimed to pass those lessons on to the next generation. The article, once published, resonated with many. People began visiting the bakery not only for the delicious pastries but also to learn more about the community initiatives Nam had created. This newfound attention allowed him to expand his outreach even further, leading to partnerships with local organizations focused on youth development and culinary arts. One bright Saturday morning, Nam stood in front of a group of eager students for a special cooking camp he had organized. Excited chatter filled the air as they gathered around the kitchen, ready to learn. Today, "We're going to create a dish that means a lot to me," Nam announced, a nostalgic smile on his face. "We'll be making Mr. Hoa's famous bread recipe, the very first one I learned." As he demonstrated the process, he shared stories about Mr. Hoa, his warmth, and the lessons he imparted. The students listened intently, their eyes wide with curiosity and admiration. They poured their hearts into kneading the dough, and soon, the bakery was filled with the comforting aroma of freshly baked bread. As the day came to an end, Nam felt a profound sense of connection, not just to the students, but to the legacy he was creating. He knew that each loaf baked, each recipe shared, and each story told was a way of keeping Mr. Hoa's spirit alive, a reminder that the heart of baking was about more than just the food. One evening, while preparing for the next day's classes, Nam received an unexpected visit from Mr. Hoa. The elderly man walked in with a twinkle in his eye, looking proud and content. "Nam, I've heard wonderful things about your bakery and all the good you're doing in the community," he said, his voice filled with warmth. Nam felt a rush of emotions. "Thank you, Mr. Hoa. Your teachings have shaped everything I've done. I owe so much to you." They sat together, reminiscing about the early days, the struggles, and the victories. Mr. Hoa shared his own journey, the challenges he had faced, and the joy he felt watching Nam grow. "You've created a beautiful legacy, Nam. Keep nurturing it, and it will continue to flourish." With a renewed sense of purpose, Nam took Mr. Hoa's words to heart. He continued to innovate and expand his outreach, ensuring that the bakery remained a space of love, learning, and community connection. As time went on, Nam realized that the legacy he was building was more than just about baking, it was about creating a network of kindness and support that transcended generations. The bakery became a sanctuary for those in need, a place where people could come together, share their stories, and find solace in the comforting embrace of baked goods. Years later, as Nam prepared for another community celebration, he looked around at the bustling bakery, filled with laughter and the warm glow of friendships forged through shared experiences. He felt a deep sense of gratitude for every person who had walked through those doors, each contributing to the beautiful tapestry of community he had woven. In the midst of the celebration, as he glanced at the faces of young bakers, eager to learn and share, he knew that the spirit of kindness would continue to ripple through the generations. His heart swelled with pride, knowing that he had not only fulfilled his dream but had also created a legacy that would inspire others to make a difference. And so, with flour-dusted hands and a heart full of love, Nam continued to bake, not just for the pastries but for the connections, the stories, and the lasting impact that would resonate in the community for years to come. The bakery had become a symbol of hope, love, and the power of kindness, proving that even the smallest acts could create waves of change. As the years rolled on, Nam's bakery became a cornerstone of the community, a place where stories were shared and bonds were formed over the warmth of freshly baked goods. He continued to innovate, introducing seasonal flavors and limited-time offerings that reflected the cultural diversity of the area. Each pastry told a story, often inspired by the recipes shared by community members during workshops. One summer, Nam decided to host a cultural bake-off where families from different backgrounds could showcase their traditional recipes. The event drew a large crowd, with stalls set up to display everything from sweet empanadas to spicy samosas. As the community came together, it was not just a celebration of food, it was a celebration of heritage and unity. During the bake-off, Nam noticed a young girl named Lin nervously clutching a box of her grandmother's famous coconut macaroons. She had entered the competition but seemed overwhelmed by the crowd. Nam approached her with a gentle smile. "Lin, your macaroons look fantastic. Would you like some help setting up?" Her face lit up, and with Nam's encouragement, she gained confidence and began to share her story. As people sampled her macaroons, they raved about the flavors, and Lin's shyness faded, replaced by pride and joy. At the end of the bake-off, Nam awarded Lin the People's Choice Prize. Her beaming smile was a moment he cherished deeply. "This is just the beginning, Lin. Your talent deserves to be shared with the world," he told her, encouraging her to keep pursuing her passion for baking. As the seasons changed, Nam continued to mentor the youth in the community. Hien, now a budding chef, had taken on a leadership role in the mentorship program, inspiring the younger generation with his own journey. One day, he approached Nam with an idea for a new initiative, a Baking for Change program that would focus on sustainability in baking. The program aimed to teach participants about reducing food waste, sourcing local ingredients, and understanding the environmental impact of their culinary choices. Nam was thrilled at the prospect and eagerly supported Qian's vision. They organized workshops and community cleanup days, encouraging everyone to participate and learn. During one of the workshops, they invited a local farmer to speak about sustainable practices. The farmer shared insights on how to grow food responsibly, connecting the dots between agriculture and the food on their plates. Participants learned not just about baking, but about the entire ecosystem that supported their passion. As the Baking for Change program flourished, the bakery began to attract more attention from local media. Soon, they were featured in articles highlighting their commitment to sustainability and community engagement. Nam was invited to speak at local events, sharing his journey in the importance of nurturing both talent and the environment. With each passing year, the bakery evolved into a hub of activity, constantly buzzing with workshops, events, and community gatherings. Nam watched as the impact of his work rippled through the community, creating a culture of support and collaboration. On one particular day, as Nam was preparing for a baking class, he received an unexpected visitor, Mr. Hoa. The elderly man had come to see how his former apprentice was doing. "Nam, I've heard wonderful things about your bakery," he said, his eyes sparkling with pride. "I couldn't be happier to see you thriving." Nam felt a rush of warmth. "Thank you, Mr. Hoa. I owe so much of this to you. Your teachings laid the foundation for everything I've done." They spent the afternoon reminiscing, sharing stories and laughter, the bond between mentor and mentee stronger than ever. Mr. Hoa was amazed at how Nam had transformed not just his bakery, but the lives of so many in the community. As they chatted, Nam had an idea. "What if we hosted a special event together? A legacy day, to honor those who have influenced our journeys and celebrate the spirit of mentorship?" Mr. Hoa's face lit up at the suggestion. "That's a beautiful idea, Nam. Let's make it happen." They quickly got to work, inviting former mentors, local chefs, and community leaders to share their stories. On the day of the event, the bakery was filled with the warmth of friendship and nostalgia. Each speaker took to the stage, sharing their journey and the lessons they had learned along the way. Nam felt a profound sense of fulfillment watching the event unfold. It was a testament to the power of community and the importance of giving back. As he looked around, he saw familiar faces, Qian, Lin, and countless others, each thriving in their own right, inspired by the very values he had learned from Mr. Hoa. As the event came to a close, Nam stepped up to speak. "Today, we celebrate not just the past, but the future we are building together. Each one of us has the power to inspire change, to lift each other up, and to create a community where kindness prevails." The crowd erupted in applause, and Nam felt a deep connection with everyone in that room. He knew that the legacy he was building would continue to flourish, fueled by the passion and determination of those around him. In the years that followed, Nam's bakery remained a symbol of hope, love, and resilience. As he continued to mentor young bakers, support local initiatives, and foster a spirit of community, he found immense joy in the knowledge that he was making a difference. Each loaf of bread, each pastry created, and each story shared added to the rich tapestry of the bakery's history. Nam often reflected on how far he had come since that day he helped Mr. Hoa with his heavy bag. It had all begun with a simple act of kindness, a moment that had set into motion a chain of events that would touch countless lives. With each passing year, Nam's heart swelled with pride as he witnessed the impact of his work. The community had grown closer, connected by their shared experiences and the love of baking. The bakery became a place where dreams were nurtured, friendships blossomed, and kindness thrived. As he looked forward to the future, Nam knew that the journey was far from over. With every new generation of bakers he mentored, he felt the warmth of hope and the promise of what was to come. And in his heart, he carried the legacy of Mr. Hoa, a guiding light that would continue to illuminate the path for many more to follow. As the seasons shifted once more, Nam found himself reflecting on the incredible journey he had taken with his bakery. The community had become a tapestry of connections, woven together by the threads of shared experiences, learning, and love. With each passing day, new stories unfolded, and new faces walked through the doors, eager to be part of this vibrant world. One bright autumn day, while preparing for a community harvest festival, Nam received an unexpected visit from an old friend, Min, a renowned chef who had made a name for himself in the culinary world. Min was in town for a few days and wanted to reconnect. They hadn't seen each other in years, but the moment Min stepped into the bakery, it was as if no time had passed. "Nam! This place is amazing!" Min exclaimed, taking in the warm atmosphere filled with the smell of fresh pastries. "You've created something truly special here." Nam smiled, his heart swelling with pride. "It's a team effort. The community has really come together to make this bakery a hub of creativity and support." As they reminisced about their early days in the culinary world, Nam shared the initiatives he had implemented, from the mentorship programs to the sustainability efforts. Min listened intently, his admiration for Nam growing with each story. "You know, I've been thinking about how I can give back," Min said, a thoughtful expression on his face. "What if we collaborated on a special event? We could combine our talents and invite chefs from all over to share their culinary journeys and skills with the community." Nam's eyes lit up at the idea. "That's a fantastic idea. We could host a culinary celebration, featuring local chefs and showcasing the diversity of our culinary landscape." They quickly got to work planning the event, reaching out to chefs, local farmers, and artisans. The vision was clear: a day filled with cooking demonstrations, food tastings, and storytelling, where everyone could learn from one another and celebrate the rich tapestry of flavors that defined their community. As the date of the event approached, excitement buzzed in the air. Flyers were distributed, and social media buzzed with anticipation. The day of the culinary celebration arrived, and Nam's bakery transformed into a bustling hub of activity. Chefs from various backgrounds set up their stations, each eager to share their culinary secrets. The smell of sizzling dishes and the sight of vibrant ingredients filled the air, creating an atmosphere of festivity and creativity. Nam and Min moved through the crowd, engaging with attendees and ensuring everything ran smoothly. Throughout the day, people gathered to watch cooking demonstrations, eager to learn new techniques and discover unique flavors. Local farmers shared their stories about sustainable practices, emphasizing the importance of supporting local agriculture. Children participated in hands-on activities, making mini pastries and learning about the art of baking. As the sun began to set, Nam took the stage to address the crowd. "Today has been a celebration of community, creativity, and connection. It's a reminder that when we come together, we can create something truly beautiful." The crowd erupted in applause, and Nam felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. This was what he had always envisioned, a space where everyone could come together, learn, and support one another. After the event, as people mingled and shared their experiences, Nam felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had not only created a successful bakery but also fostered a community where love, kindness, and creativity thrived. As the weeks turned into months, Nam's culinary celebration became an annual tradition, drawing more and more participants each year. With each event, the connections between local chefs, farmers, and community members deepened, creating a culture of collaboration and support that was truly inspiring. One day, as Nam was reflecting on the success of the recent celebration, he received a call from Kien. "Nam, I have an exciting proposal. I'd like to host a youth culinary competition, where students can showcase their skills and creativity. The winners could receive scholarships for culinary schools." Nam's heart raced with excitement. "That's a brilliant idea, Kien. Let's make it happen." Together, they organized the competition, inviting students from local schools to participate. The event aimed to inspire young chefs to pursue their culinary dreams while also encouraging them to use local ingredients and sustainable practices. As the competition day approached, Nam felt a sense of pride knowing that he was helping shape the future of aspiring chefs in the community. The day was filled with laughter, excitement, and a palpable sense of camaraderie among the participants. When the competition finally arrived, the bakery was buzzing with energy. Young chefs set up their stations, ready to impress the judges with their culinary creations. Friends and family gathered to cheer them on, creating an atmosphere of support and encouragement. Nam watched as each participant poured their heart into their dishes, showcasing their unique styles and flavors. The judges, a panel of experienced chefs and community leaders, tasted each creation with care, discussing the creativity and technique displayed by each young chef. At the end of the day, as the winners were announced, Nam felt a swell of emotion. The winners beamed with pride as they received their scholarships, but what struck him most was the camaraderie displayed by all the participants. They exchanged tips, shared laughter, and celebrated each other's successes. As the evening wound down, Kien approached Nam, his eyes shining with excitement. "We did it, Nam! This was incredible! Thank you for believing in this idea." Nam smiled, filled with gratitude. "You've done amazing work, Kien. It's inspiring to see how far you've come and the impact you're making on these young chefs." In the months that followed, the competition grew in popularity, becoming a highlight of the community calendar. It brought together aspiring chefs, mentors, and supporters, all united by their love for food and creativity. As Nam reflected on his journey, he felt immense gratitude for the path that had led him to this moment. He often thought of Mr. Hoa, the man who had set everything in motion with that simple act of kindness. The legacy of mentorship, creativity, and community spirit was alive and thriving, continuing to inspire new generations. One day, while tidying up the bakery, Nam found a letter tucked away in an old cookbook. It was from Lin, the girl who had won the People's Choice Award at the bake-off. She had written to thank him for believing in her and for helping her pursue her dreams of becoming a chef. Reading her heartfelt words brought a tear to Nam's eye. He realized that the impact of his work extended far beyond the bakery. He was nurturing dreams, building confidence, and fostering a sense of belonging among all those who entered his doors. With each passing year, Nam's bakery became a symbol of hope and resilience. It was a place where young chefs discovered their passion, where friendships flourished, and where the spirit of kindness and mentorship thrived. As he prepared for the next round of baking classes, Nam looked forward to welcoming a new group of aspiring chefs. He knew that, with each student, he would have the opportunity to make a difference in their lives, just as Mr. Hoa had done for him all those years ago. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit eager to inspire, Nam continued to bake, share stories, and cultivate the legacy of kindness that had defined his journey. The bakery had become a beacon of light, proving that even the simplest acts of generosity could create lasting change and transform lives. As Nam's bakery continued to thrive, it became a cherished institution in the community. Each day brought new faces and fresh stories, creating a vibrant tapestry of lives intertwined by the love of baking. With the success of the youth culinary competition still fresh in their minds, Nam and Kien decided to take their commitment to mentorship a step further. They envisioned a program that would pair aspiring chefs with local restaurants for internships, allowing students to gain real-world experience in a professional kitchen. "Let's reach out to local chefs and restaurant owners," Kien suggested one day over coffee. "If we can create partnerships, we can offer these students a chance to learn from the best." Nam agreed wholeheartedly. They put together a proposal outlining their vision and began contacting local chefs, many of whom were enthusiastic about the idea. The community embraced the initiative, seeing it as a way to invest in the next generation of culinary talent. After several weeks of planning and meetings, they launched the Culinary Mentorship Program. Local restaurants opened their doors to students, providing hands-on experience in various aspects of kitchen work, from prep to plating. The response was overwhelming. Students were eager to learn, and chefs were excited to share their knowledge. One day, as the program began to take shape, Nam received a visit from Lin, who had since graduated high school and was working part-time at a nearby cafe. "Nam, I heard about the mentorship program. I'd love to help in any way I can," she said, her enthusiasm infectious. Nam smiled, proud of her growth. Of course. Your experience will be invaluable. Perhaps you can mentor some of the younger students? Lynn's eyes sparkled with excitement. I would love that. I want to show them how fulfilling it is to create something from scratch. As the mentorship program took off, Nam felt a sense of joy watching students flourish under the guidance of seasoned chefs. They learned not only technical skills but also the importance of teamwork, creativity, and resilience in a bustling kitchen environment. One afternoon, while observing a cooking session, Nam noticed a quiet boy named and struggling with his dish. He seemed frustrated, unsure of how to proceed. Sensing his hesitation, Nam approached him gently. Hey, and what are you trying to make? And looked up, a bit shy. I'm attempting a stir-fry, but it's not turning out like I imagined. Let's take a look together, Nam suggested, guiding him through the process. They discussed flavor profiles, textures, and cooking techniques. Slowly but surely, An's confidence grew. By the end of the session, he had created a delicious dish, and the pride on his face was palpable. Thank you, Nam. I didn't think I could do it, An said, his eyes shining. That's the beauty of cooking, Nam replied. It's all about experimentation and learning from our mistakes. Remember, every chef started where you are now. The weeks flew by, and the mentorship program became a transformative experience for both the students and the chefs. As students honed their skills, they formed friendships and a sense of camaraderie that extended beyond the kitchen. They collaborated on projects, shared recipes, and even created their own signature dishes, which were showcased during a special tasting event at Nam's bakery. When the day of the tasting arrived, excitement filled the air. The bakery was transformed into a vibrant showcase of culinary talent, with stations set up for each student to present their dishes. Friends, family, and community members gathered to support the budding chefs. As the event unfolded, Nam watched proudly as each student took center stage, explaining their creations and the inspiration behind them. Laughter and applause filled the room, and the atmosphere was electric with positivity. After the tasting, Nam stepped up to address the crowd. Tonight, we celebrate not just food, but the hard work and creativity of these incredible young chefs. They have shown us the power of passion, dedication, and community support. I am honored to be part of their journey. The applause that followed echoed throughout the bakery, a testament to the impact of the program. Nam felt a surge of gratitude as he looked at the students, their faces beaming with pride and accomplishment. In the months that followed, the mentorship program continued to evolve. Students began to collaborate on community projects, creating meals for local shelters and participating in food drives. They discovered the joy of giving back, using their culinary skills to make a positive impact in their community. As the seasons changed once again, Nam reflected on the journey he had taken since he first opened the bakery. The simple act of kindness he had shown to Mr. Hoa had blossomed into a thriving community of support, mentorship, and love. He was reminded of the profound impact that one small gesture could have on countless lives. One day, as Nam was preparing for the upcoming winter holidays, he received a message from Kien. Nam, I have an idea for a winter festival at the bakery. We could invite local artisans, host baking workshops, and celebrate the holiday spirit. Nam loved the idea. Let's do it. We can incorporate a charity element, where a portion of the proceeds goes to local families in need. With excitement, they began planning the winter festival, reaching out to local artisans and community members to participate. The event promised to be a celebration of warmth, community, and giving. When the day of the festival arrived, Nam's bakery was adorned with twinkling lights, holiday decorations, and the sweet scent of baked goods. Families flocked to the event, enjoying workshops, tastings, and the joy of the season. As the sun set, Nam took a moment to step outside, watching as laughter and joy filled the air. It was a scene that brought tears to his eyes. He had created a space where people felt connected, supported, and cherished. In that moment, he felt a profound sense of gratitude for everyone who had been part of his journey. Each individual, students, mentors, friends, and community members, had contributed to the magic of the bakery. As the festival came to a close, Nam gathered everyone for a final speech. Thank you all for being here today. Each of you has played a vital role in this community, and it's a testament to the power of kindness and connection. Together, we are creating something beautiful. The applause that followed echoed in Nam's heart, a reminder of the lasting impact of love and support. As the evening came to an end, he knew that the journey was far from over. The legacy of mentorship, community, and kindness would continue to thrive, inspiring future generations to follow their passions and make a difference. Nam looked toward the future with hope and excitement, ready to embrace the challenges and joys that lay ahead. The bakery had become more than just a place for baked goods. It was a sanctuary of love, creativity, and connection, a place where dreams were nurtured, friendships were forged, and the spirit of giving lived on. As the final lights of the winter festival twinkled softly in the night, Nam stood at the entrance of his bakery, watching families depart with smiles and warm treats in hand. The laughter of children echoed in the air, mingling with the scent of fresh pastries, creating a memory he hoped would linger long after the festivities ended. In that moment, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment wash over him. The bakery had transformed into a community hub, a place where dreams flourished and connections were forged. Each story shared, every lesson learned, and each act of kindness had woven a rich tapestry that showcased the beauty of human connection. Reflecting on the journey that had begun with a simple act of helping an elderly man, Nam realized how profoundly it had shaped not only his life but the lives of countless others. He had witnessed the power of mentorship and the importance of lifting each other up, and he vowed to continue fostering that spirit in the years to come. As he closed the bakery for the night, he looked around at the warm glow of the kitchen, now filled with the lingering scent of success and camaraderie. He was excited for what the future held: new programs, new chefs, and new opportunities to inspire others. With a heart full of gratitude, Nam stepped outside, took a deep breath of the crisp night air, and smiled. He knew that no matter the challenges ahead, the community he had built would stand strong, united by love, kindness, and a shared passion for baking. And in that realization, he found peace, knowing that together, they would continue to rise, just like the dough in his beloved bakery.